Athletes, welcome back to the locker room. It's good to have you back. Gather around, take a knee. I want to talk a little bit today about a cool concept, and that is the comeback. Think about any sports hero you might have had or an epic athletic moment. Think about those underdog kind of stories. Now, all those things are great, but one of the coolest things I feel is a comeback. The comeback happens when something crazy's happened to that player. Something that may have taken them out of the world of play for a little while. In the world of recovery, we call that a relapse. So when you think about relapse and a comeback, what does it mean to you? It's kind of awesome to kind of look at the inspiration that can come from that. On Team Addict to Athlete, when people have relapses, we like to talk about it not being about the relapse specifically, but what you do with it. Meaning, we're going to have bumps, we're going to have falls, we're going to drop the ball, we're going to fumble now and then. But when you look at it in terms of a relapse, you've had some sobriety, you've had some success, something wacky happens, you slip, you use relapse. If you look at what I mean by the concept of it's not the relapse, it's what you do with it, is could sobriety have lost its purpose for a moment, the acronym for SLIP? Or do we get into full-fledged addiction again? I think part of what we look at when you need to come back is the inspiration that can come from those experiences. Okay, so think about that self-belief that it requires, that belief in yourself that you can make a comeback, that everything that you've trained for, everything that you've done in your recovery, in your world of sobriety, in building relationships, doesn't mean that if you have a bump in the road, you should throw it all away. I think if we look at relapse in terms of a one and done and go back to old behaviors, well, then we're going to be setting ourselves up for some serious pain in the future. See, it's funny how you understand the principles of you cannot gain success unless you have failures. Now, failures, and when we fumble the ball, it makes that comeback even more amazing. But you've got to have some skin in this game. You've got to be able to identify how you went wrong, why you fumbled that ball, how come your experiences have led you to this time in life where you've fumbled and dropped the baton. You haven't been able to carry that torch. Think about all the things that cause that relapse. It's not the relapse, it's what you do with it. You gain all that stuff from experience and you're able to create a more excellent way to learn from that experience, that failure, to grow from it instead of to have it completely devastate you. Those are comebacks. Those are amazing experiences. That's where you turn the mess into the message. So sometimes we think, well, it's a one and done situation. I can't ever come back to where I once was. That's not true, athletes. In your recovery and in your sobriety, if we're counting days, if we're counting steps, if we're counting all this stuff, we're forgetting how to live. And it's easier to drop the ball. It's easier to fumble when we're focused on so many of the outliers, so many of the traditions, so to speak. Let's take a different look at this. Let's take that relapse that's going to happen or that could happen and turn that into the concept of a comeback to make yourself stronger, to make yourself more focused, more willing to accept help, more willingness to accept coaching, counseling, or therapy, and more importantly, to not let your vision of what you had cloudy the future. It's going to be a natural progression, and as we go forward and as we move from addict to athlete, we're going to have these experiences. If you're watching this video right now, chances are you're on your way to come back from a major addiction, and to come back into life and to come back into your family, into your relationships. Think about how glorious that comeback's going to be. It's not about the relapse, it's what you do with it. And more importantly, it's your actions, not your words. The only way your friends, your family, your spectators, your fans are going to appreciate you is if you show them, not tell them. So, in order to understand the true principle of the comeback and the relapse and what it means, be prepared to meet some failure. Be prepared to learn from those experiences and, more importantly, grow from them. Find out what caused the relapse, what caused the fumble, and then strategize yourself to become stronger, to become more focused and more willing to move forward. And athletes, as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, jump on our Facebook pages, social media, reach out, give a like to this video, and until next time, go turn your mess into a message.